Alrighty, so I'm not sure if this is live right now on YouTube, but prayerfully it should be. But hey, everybody, this is Robert, and yeah, it's been a minute or two since I've done one of these, and yeah, because usually I just do like podcast interviews and stuff, but today we're just going to be doing something a little more. Well, I just wanted to start back streaming on here, so yeah, if anybody is interested, wants to check that out, let me know if you want to see more streams. But yeah, today we got a very special guest here, and yeah, I kind of am really terrible with doing announcements and stuff. So I have on my good friend Dannphan, who is in the corner today, and yeah, would you like to say hi to the folks out there?
Hi, everybody. Hope you're having a great day so far.
Yep, anytime. And yeah, so we just decided, you know what, since it's Tuesday, we might as well just do like a quick little impromptu type of spontaneous thing. So yeah, I guess to start this off, how is 2025? How are things going with you before we get to the good stuff? Just share a little bit about what's making you busy all this time.
2025 has been going pretty good for me so far. I just finished up a comic campaign for a series that I'm working on, a dark fantasy series, very fun stuff. And, that's the big thing. I got a comic convention later this month. That's going to be fun. Garden State Comic Fest. It's a good one.
Yeah, I just did like a convention not too long ago where it was more like a nostalgia type of thing where a lot of actors that we grew up listening to just were in one place. So it was a lot of fun.
You're right, yeah.
Yeah, but I'm just really happy that once again, we're doing this, and I guess we'll just jump right into it. Yeah, I guess I'll just kind of start off with my experience of doing this nostalgia con, and just kind of get the ball rolling from there.
All right, sounds
So,
good.
so yeah, it was a lot of fun. I went with my mom, and we just kind of went for a few hours, just from like during the afternoon. But I was able to see a lot of great people. I shared on my Twitter, but I met folks like Tom Kenny, Rob Pulse, like pretty much a lot of those guys that were literally everywhere, like watching them as a kid. So it was just pretty neat. I got their autographs somewhere, but I gotta go and get them. I gotta find them. So yeah, that's pretty much what happened. And yeah, and I guess self plug, I guess Comic Con LA, I'll be there in September. So let's hang. But regardless, I think that's pretty much it from me. So yeah, I think the whole point of the stream is, well, I'm not representing any character, but Dannphan is. But we're going to talk a little about Solomon trying to get right into the indie animation discussion. So, yeah, I guess to start this out, we'll just. I mean, you know what? I've been talking a lot about. I've done so many episodes on this, but I kind of wanted you guys to see because it's up on my channel, but I kind of wanted to do like a live little commentary on the teaser that I just put out last year because I showed it to Dan Fan, but I don't know if a lot of you guys have seen it. So let's just start off with that. Alrighty. Uh, yeah, let's just share my screen. Alrighty, let me know if you can see, by the way.
Yeah, it's showing up.
Okay, dope. So what we're gonna do is actually, you know what would be easier? Boom. Okay, so right here is yeah, right here. So for Solomon Shrine, this right here is the teaser that just finished 4 months ago. But this was something that was in production since like 23, so about a little over 2 years ago. So we're gonna watch it, and I'm probably gonna commentate a little bit on it as we go along. But yeah, let's watch this.
And that should do it. Come on, let's set up our tent.
Why couldn't we just rent a cabin?
Who needs a cabin when we've got the dark, brooding forces of nature? It's crazy Dad never took us when we were little.
I know, right? Oh, it's so gorgeous tonight. All those stars.
Makes you want to go up there and explore the cosmos.
Mm-hmm.
But a campfire always makes me want to tell some scary stories. I just heard a really good one.
I'm gonna have to pass.
Aw, why you not, scaredy cat? Have you ever heard of the tale of the Solomon Shrine?
No? Oh my goodness, my eyes.
Long ago, in this very forest, a twisted young man stumbled across a rotten stone shrine. And he had a terribly brilliant idea. I can make something entertaining out of this old relic. He worked day and night, hammering and sawing and nailing and drilling, inventing his remaining years into something insidious. It's alive! It's alive! You see, the young man hated his village, and he wanted to use this shrine as a place to take out his anger. Rumor has it he still lives within it, luring his victims there to play a game. One that no one can ever win. Dun, dun, dun.
Sydney. Sydney.
Sydney! Oh man, that was my solo! Before the big grand finale, too!
Sydney, focus. Wouldn't someone just shut a place like that down?
There was never any real proof. Until now!
Oh, wait. We're not actually looking for this thing, are we?
Oh, well, duh. Did you think we just came to camp? This will totes be an epic vlog post!
Whoa. Okay. What makes you think this is even real?
I was browsing some forums online. A ton of people have theories about it. Can't let a perfect opportunity go to waste.
Online forums aren't exactly a reliable source.
Tell that to the thousands of upvotes. All we have to do is catch this place on camera and sell the footage to some news station. We'll be super rich.
We usually post about movies and stuff. Isn't this like super dangerous?
That's what makes it a great story.
I swear, if this ends up like the Benderman incident.
It was only a prank. You got scared over a plastic sword.
It felt so real to me. Okay, here's the deal. We'll go and find this shrine, whatever, but no pranks, no jokes, or I'm telling Mom and Dad. Again. And you can kiss your camera goodbye.
Jeez, you're a total party pooper. All we're doing is capturing nature and going on a super cool and super epic adventure. What's so dangerous about that? Come on, let's go already. Time's a-wasting. We're live?
Rolling.
Hey, Gas Eagles! Welcome back to Sid's Spooky Space with your favorite goth queen, Sydney! Last time we discussed what makes an eerie horror film, but today we've got an extra horrifying episode. We're gonna unravel the mystery of Solomon Shrine. Ooh! Sydney!
I saw something!
Oh, good! Viewers will love that.
No, really, something is moving in the...
Tom, relax. It's just a rabbit. Oh, what did out that part where you lost it at the side of a two-pound bunny. Come on, we're almost there. What are you whispering about?
Wasn't me. I swear.
This is your home now.
Sid, I think we should leave.
Let's hope this is bigger than a rabbit.
It sounds close.
Do not stop recording.
Nope, that's it. I am going back to camp.
Oh, Dom, always such a scaredy.
Sydney! Sydney! Oh, this is so bad. This is so bad. No, Sydney!
Hello? Anyone there? Alive. Forest. Alive. Who said that? Freeze! Put your hands up. What is that thing? No, please, stay back. Nice, bunny. It's all right. Easy.
Solomon Shrine. Play for your life.
Interesting. Okay, so that was Solomon. Let me stop my screen share. But yeah, that was quite that was a lot. So yeah, like I know that I said I was gonna commentate over it, but really it's I figured we would just watch the whole thing and then I would just break it piece by piece. So yeah, let me start my screen share once again. Because I really want to analyze this piece by piece. Okay, so in case if anybody is if anybody wonders, the video and animatics, this was all done by a good friend of mine named Anthony Ray Morales. When I first started talking with him, I really wanted him to have like the look of, because I know you're always looking at the design, so I really wanted it to go with a more of like a wimpy kid, kind of Bones, Captain Underpants, that type of cartooniness to it, but still has like a sense of like groundedness or realism. Not exactly real, but more like it's, how can I put this? It's cartoonish, but also has a sense of like a groundedness to it, where it's kind of more like caricature in a way. It's probably something along the lines of like Kids Next Door, which you can kind of see with the designs here, where they're more simplified, so they're easier to draw and animate. And since this is kind of in the animatic process, when we start the animation, there's going to be a little bit more of a leeway as to, specific character acting moments like body language, head movements, stuff like that. And yeah, so as we can kind of see here, we really wanted to nail just the. Oh, let me turn this up a little bit. So for this, we really wanted to set aside, like, we just wanted to make something very clear here. We want these characters to feel like, oh, okay, so these are kids that are just out by themselves. The character dynamics and relationships are kind of like, they contrast with one another. Like Sydney is kind of the little sister that is into the streaming stuff, and then Dominique, the older sister, is like, absolutely not. I don't approve this at all. And the script, this dialogue here. Okay, so this whole entire story. Yeah, let me go back a little bit. So I think we wrote this around the end of 2023, but Anthony kind of did this at the beginning of the year. So you can probably imagine that it took quite a bit of time for us to really find an artist that is able to get the style down of what we were looking for, because the designs also went through some changes too, from the original to the final. So from what we were seeing here, and also, um, I want to point this out.
No? Oh my goodness, my eyes.
Okay, so this was kind of ad libbed by by her actress. I don't remember. I'm not even sure if it was in the script. I think she just kind of did it. That just made me laugh.
Terribly brilliant something in a
Yeah, this went through a lot of rewrites
Mm.
because I wrote this with okay, let me go to. Okay, so I forgot to add myself in there, but this was primarily written by Kiana and Kayla. Just and I think we did like maybe two or three separate writing sessions for this, and I'm just really glad that we were able to do it. And when it came down to what we wanted to, yeah. Okay, I'm just gonna pause right here. So, if I recall, this was rewritten a total amount of like two, three times. Like this whole entire like story of just how the Solomon Shrine came to be with Sydney's story. This was rewritten a couple of times before we kind of settled on the final draft that we were all happy with. So when we did the casting calls for the two, I was like, no, let's just do the entire thing because I wanted to get to hear the range of whoever I'm gonna have on just to really just nail Sydney's character, and they did. And also this.
Sydney. Sydney. Sydney!
Oh man, that was my solo!
Yeah, she's got a lot of character in her voice.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm just really happy with with the actresses that I have here. Definitely a big shout out to both Brianna and Jonna, sorry, because they absolutely just nailed just what I was looking for with these two. Also, the bit where she goes rock star, that was something that I don't know if it was something that Kayla and I put in there, but we just kind of decided, you know what, let's just keep it in there because this was something that Brianna actually did in her audition, and that was this is kind of like the part that actually won me over. Because at first I was like, but then as I listened more to it, I'm like, actually no, this is perfect. So I'm just going with Brianna for Sydney, and then Dominique was another actress that I cast originally before settling on Jonna. So it just all worked out. But yeah, that little bit there this was something that Brianna did in her audition. So we just decided, you know what, let's just put this into the teaser
Yes.
because it's so fun.
What if someone just shut a place like that down?
There was never any real
Yeah. Once again, this was just kind of something that Anthony, like when we were talking about how he wanted the mood and the vibe to be, like this is something that was kind of out of his. He didn't really do like a lot of like, you know, mystery horror type of stuff like this.
Okay.
So this is something that was out of his wheelhouse, but he definitely had a lot of fun doing it. So I just wanted to thank Anthony for all his hard work.
Exactly a
Here.
reliable source.
Tell that to the thousands of upvotes. All we have to do is catch his face on camera.
Also, folks, Yeah, you could clearly tell this is modern
Sell the
times.
footage to some news station. We'll be super rich.
Uh, but, we usually post about movies and stuff. Isn't this like super dangerous?
That's what makes it a great story.
I swear, if this ends up
Yeah,
like
if you've ever seen Ed, and Eddie, it kind of is like where Edge comes up with a scheme and then Double Deer, like, yeah, he would just kind of be the voice of reason and then just, Ed just kind of goes along with it. This kind of feels like an Ed and an Eddie scenario.
Story.
I swear, if this ends up like the Benderman incident.
It was only a prank.
Look at the Slenderman
You got
incident,
scared
y'all.
over a plastic sword.
It felt so real to me. Okay, here's the deal. We'll go and find this shrine, whatever, but no pranks, no jokes, or I'm telling Mom and Dad. Again. And you can kiss your camera goodbye.
Jeez, you're a total party pooper. All we're doing is capturing nature. It's about that. Nah, come on, let's go already. Time's wasted.
I feel like this last part here was mostly written by me. I think.
Hey, Cassie Ghouls! Welcome back to Sid's Spooky Space with your favorite goth queen, Sydney! Last time we discussed what makes an eerie horror film, but today we've got an extra horrifying episode. We're gonna unravel the mystery of Solomon's Shrine. Ooh.
Alright, so
It's just a
this
rabbit.
guy's gonna be very
Oh,
important.
we'll edit out
So,
that part where you lost it at the side of a two-pound bunny. Come on, we're almost there.
alrighty, if you listen very closely, you can probably hear me as well. Okay, that one I know for sure was me because it's some freaking Sonic reference.
What are you whispering about?
Wasn't me, I swear.
This is your home now.
Sid, I think we should leave.
Mom, do not.
It's so bad.
Oh, Dom, always such a scaredy cat.
Those recording sessions were a lot of fun. Just having them scream. And
Hello?
I probably added this.
Anyone?
Police officer.
Your hands up! What is that thing? Right? Easy. Ah!
For your life.
Interesting. Alrighty. Want to explain something about this? Okay, so the monster was Dannphan, he's GM. So William was me, scratch audio, because this was posted around February 10th. So this was before I ended up casting Sean Chiplock as William. So this was just kind of done as like a little scratch type of thing. Because we hadn't really set up the casting calls. We kind of just we're slowly in the beginning stages of finding our actors and just making sure that everything is kind of just on one accord. But yeah, I think this is probably the only time you'll actually hear me as William throughout the series. So,
Yeah, you just work with what you got in the beginning.
yeah, and I could not find, I don't know anybody else at the time. So that's why I'm just like, you know what? I got to do a casting call for this and then do the callbacks just to be sure. And yeah, I'm just happy with the cast that I have for the series. Yeah, and I think I'm just going to share one more thing. I know I keep doing this, but I'm just obnoxious like that. So let me see here. Because I know we set up the. Oh, yeah, we did the announcements and everything. So let me see if I could find it. All right, where is it? Where is it? Where is it? There we are. Alrighty, share my screen once again. All right, there we are.
Promise you won't think I'm crazy. I've been researching this place. It's just some weird stuff has been happening around here.
What? Oh man, it's gonna be romantic. I need my wingman if I have any chance of getting one of those girls to go out with me.
I've been meaning to say, I know we don't really run in the same circles, but you seem super uncomfortable. Did I do something to make you not like me?
That's a super rude way to say that. Are you always this condescending? Good. Do you know anything about this place that might be helpful?
Come on, let's set up our tents. Who needs a cabin when we've got the dark, brooding forces of nature?
Ah! Sydney, I saw something!
Hello? Anyone there? What is that thing? No, please, stay back!
Yeah, so I wanted to credit Anthony, but like I said, I just couldn't fit in anybody in there. So yeah, that's pretty much all I have for Solomon Shrine so far. Um, yeah, I know it's almost like 30 minutes, so Todd, share your thoughts in general.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting to see a lot of people doing the independent route and just going out there trying to figure out how to do their own thing. It sounds like you got a pretty big team together already to create a real project here, and that's pretty exciting.
Yeah, I really am super proud of just everybody that is on board so far. We really busted our butts off just making a lot of this happen, and I'm just glad that it's kind of coming to life. And so,
Yeah.
yeah,
So do you have like a timeline laid out for the future, like ideal release dates or where it's going to be posted or stuff like that?
do I have? Oh, is that a question?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, yeah, sure. So far, place in the summertime, like you've probably seen it, like in the summer night out camp setting. So it's gonna be episode one is gonna be in production throughout the summer, probably for like the next couple of months. And since it's gonna be like, Halloween spoopy ish type of thing, I'm
Mhm.
planning to release it sometime in October, November at the latest, give or take, or maybe even December. Yeah, imagine me releasing something horror related on Christmas. It's like we're supposed to be celebrating, like it's candy canes, bread, yeah, that stuff. I thought holidays were supposed to be jolly. Oh,
I
well,
guess it makes
probably gonna.
sense to like record a couple episodes ahead of time and then have them
I know,
released
yeah.
consistently throughout like the seasonal thing.
Yeah, because I know that the scripts themselves, depending on how long a session goes, we'll probably just do one at a time. But if it's like super short, that should be no problem. Um, so yeah, that's probably the best that I got so far. But yeah, it would be wild if I released this in December, and everybody is like, "Oh, I thought the holiday season is supposed to be like happy and jolly and stuff." Well, prepare for a nice change of pace. Let's just say that.
There are people who like to consume horror material around Christmas time. You got the Krampus folks out there who like the
Yeah.
horror Christmas games.
I mean, to be fair, Grandma Lance, if you've seen those movies, do take place at Christmas time, but they kind of wreak havoc and they terrorize people. So
Yeah, right.
I don't know. Yeah. So and also there's a lot of other stuff that does take place at Christmas time that just is full of chaos and mayhem anyway. So who, who am I to complain? But yeah, other than that, like I already mentioned that the production of this, like just the teaser alone, took over a year, and I probably don't know how long the episodes themselves are going to be. So, like I said, I know I had a set release date for like at least episode one, probably sometime in like October ish or so, but we don't know how life, we don't know where everything goes nowadays. So, yeah, we'll just have to wait and see. But yeah, that was the teaser, the casting announcement, and you can kind of hear a glimpse of what the characters sound like and where what their roles are going to be for the project. And I'm just, looking forward to it. Yeah, and
Yeah,
is
yeah.
there anything else to discuss regarding that? No, I think that was just pretty much it. Just wanted to do like a little showcase of what to expect with Solomon and yeah, where the project is going to go from there. I'm just going to be somebody that's going to keep you just second guessing, if not by the edge of your seats, because it's a survival game, kind of like one of those
Yeah.
Sphinx games that you see, like those movies. So that's pretty much it. I'm just really happy about it, and yeah, looking forward to more episodes coming soon. Yeah,
All right.
and the reason that I kind of brought all of this up is that well, I kind of got the had this itch to create my own little indie thing. So because I know that indie animation has kind of really been kind of taken off, and so with same thing goes for like comics and what have you. And I know you do like a lot of comics yourselves. I guess my question for you is, being an indie comic artist and just doing a lot of this stuff yourself, uh, how would you think that the whole experience is like? Just doing stuff, just and then getting to collab with others and doing all of this, on your own spirit.
I, Yeah, the general experience has been great. It's nice getting to like meet different people, and the collaborations are obviously quite fun, as well as just being able. I mean, the main core of it is just being able to get something out there and cultivate a fan base, people who really enjoy it. There's no better feeling than people enjoying your work. It's really satisfying because it feels like all your effort that you put into it, it was worth it in the end because at least somebody out there enjoyed it, and it's a very nice experience, I would say. Of course, it is a lot of hard work, especially with how much like how difficult you make a project can really make it hard on you, which is usually why I recommend people, start small and then grow it out as you progress in the future. And I would still say that rings true even now. Like, I'm doing a dark fantasy series for the first time, and oh boy, it's like nothing I've ever worked on before, and it's a lot of work on me. But at least I can appreciate the challenge, and at least it's not too overwhelming because I started with these other projects first.
Yeah, you want to share more about it if you can?
Yeah, well, I started the Reaper series, and the first book, it was the longest comic I had ever written because I was doing it kind of not exactly manga-esque, where we're doing thick volumes with 6 chapters per book, and then I'm releasing it per book so people can like read a mini story arc that's attached to a much longer story. And then the first book was about 108 pages, longest comic I had ever written at the time. And now that I'm on book 2, I've made this one even longer. It's looking like 200 pages, despite the fact that it's still 6 chapters. I just unintentionally made the chapters longer. It's funny too because I always try to be concise, but then I later go back in the story and try to capitalize on certain scenes that I feel like could use more time or more breathing room. And at some point, it just ended up being much longer. But at least I have the experience of doing the book that was 100 pages, now that I'm going to do a book that's 200 pages. And that the experience will help me get along, of course. But yeah, it's a lot of work, and you got to dedicate a lot of time to doing the work while also dedicating time to getting better at like the end product, of course, because I've been trying to get better at art in general. So hopefully book 2 looks even better than book 1.
Yeah, right on. Yeah, I know with a lot of us, we make a lot of this stuff, and we'll see if things go well, if they ever make it out. But a lot of our ideas can take years of just finessing, so to speak.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, because I know with a lot of your comics and projects, which I guess we can kind of just have the spotlight over to you for just a sec. Because I've read a couple of your stuff and did comic dubs of them. So, what is the whole, like, I guess, if you were to say, like, some of the origins and the whole production, just everything that you want to share with some of your comic series, just feel free. The floor is all yours. You're the guest.
Yeah, well, I've done like a couple of different one shots. I think people usually say that their favorite was this one comedy one shot that I did called It's Not Like Getting a Job Will Kill You. A lot of people like that one. And that was a fun one to work on. It was just like one of those ideas that I it just sprung to me while I was working on something else, and I just did it very quickly. But it was fun. That's the main thing. And um, I've also done art for like a writer. I mean, Horizon Quest, I just did the art for, and I participated a little bit in the editing to make the story a little tighter. But that was still a very fun one, and we might be doing a sequel to that one in the future. It all depends on, how much time I can dedicate off of the series that I'm working on now. But yeah, I'm still up for doing more one shots in the future too, because I think that they are a very good way of perfecting your craft when it comes to both art and writing. Really, just giving yourself something short that you can focus on and focus on making perfect, or at least as perfect as you can, because it's not super lengthy. It's a lot easier to put more focus and dedication towards it. I do enjoy the one shots. The only kicker is, oh man, it's just a one shot. I can't make this a full series. You have to let it go. But I do like making them open ended, just in case in the future I want to do a sequel or go back to them.
Yeah, I mean, it's possible. Like, never say never.
Yeah, it's very true.
Yeah, and with a lot of your other comics that I kind of made a few dubs, which you can also find on my channel. So I think the thought is like when you're a creator, you can experiment with a lot of different like tones and stuff. Like for me, I've done a lot of just comedic, silly little stuff, but then this is like my first foray into, oh no, like we're going into horror, we're going into mystery, we're going into that stuff. But it's still like an adventure with just a group of students just trying to fight, make their way out of here, and also stop the bad guy. So yeah, those are themes that that are just pretty much very much are relevant in today's time, you know.
Yeah, I mean, good versus evil will always be relevant. There's always like bad forces and good forces always at odds with each other.
I know. And that's why I'm just like, when we were coming up with the concept of like Sullivan, we wanted it to be a series where, okay, the characters go through some serious traumatic stuff, but they can learn and grow from it. And they're not going to come out the same as when they went in. But yeah, it's going to be a huge learning lesson for them. That's all I can say.
Yeah. Are there any like other shows or like what's your inspiration for doing a survival game audio drama?
That's a good question. I Full disclosure, it kind of stems from my personal life in a way. I mean, not that I ever did like a survival maze game myself, but it really did start out with like I went to a. It was one of those because I used to go every year, like go out to camp every summer with my youth group at from my church. So we would just go out there, just spend a few days, and while we were over there, I found like a couple of old abandoned buildings. So naturally, I got curious and wanted to check it out. And nothing happened, but I'm just like, what would happen if somebody actually were to go down there and they don't come back? And I kind of revisited this concept in 2020, go figure. And yeah, when everything was just kind of shut down, but yeah, then I just started cooking as what do they call us now? Gen Alpha, as
The
they
rumors.
explained. Yeah, not boomers, but it's more like I started cooking, as the cool kids say now, and I mean, I just started coming up with all of the roughs, and I think I kind of shared some of it with you. And we just, I then I brought on Kayla for casting. Like Kayla just helps me write the stuff, and we just kind of came up with another completely different story than how it started out as. In the original, it was kind of a little goofier, but we just kind of decided let's just make it a little more like kind of darker, but still digestible in a way that is like, oh, so we're not scaring or traumatizing the audience along the way because I'm not really a fan of just, oh, let's just give the audience nightmares. No, like if a character's going through a something like serious, they you gotta make sure that they have to learn from this. Because if we as an audience, if we're traumatized by it, then it's like, oh, I don't want to watch this anymore. So yeah,
Yeah, me personally, I'm not a fan of the type of survival game stuff like Saw. I'm not a fan of the Saw movies by any means. For me, it's just like nothing but gore, but there's no real lesson learned at the end. It's just like, oh man, aren't you glad that you're alive? And it's like, not anymore. Jeez.
yeah. I think one of the main things is like we wanted to be more in the vein of Gravity Falls, which is kind of pretty obvious from the designs and the overall tone and story, but it's also like there's definitely some elements of Legend of Zelda when you go through the dungeons and go through the different trials and stuff. But another big one was definitely Courage the Cowardly Dog with this mixture of horror
Mm.
and comedy in there. And also, of course, some Scooby Doo. So just take a little bit of inspiration from anything and just throw it in a blender and see what sticks and what doesn't. So it was a lot of trial and error, but I think we kind of came to a fine ground of what we wanted it to be, but also simultaneously just not afraid to just be bold and experiment with more stuff, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that's good. It's good to find a nice medium so that people who are out there looking for horror can find something without being, as you said, completely traumatized by it and running away from the genre.
Yeah, for sure. Because there's so much that I could say where it's like, oh my gosh, why? Why would you do this? But, and especially in the case of indie animation, because I know that with mainstream media, it's kind of it's in a bit of a pickle. Like, let's just say that. But with indie animation, you can. Part of the reason why I really enjoy doing this is getting to collab with a lot of different um, with folks that have different viewpoints and see what they can offer and do some contributions to it and yeah just really put their own voices out there and just put the best of us or just even the most twisted of our imaginations and just throw it in the story, and I think that's kind of something that really came out very well.
Yeah.
Yeah. um But I just really love getting to work with a lot of different creators and artists because in indie animation, it's really no better time to start checking out a lot of new stuff that is out right now instead of just a bajillion Disney remake or just live action reboots and stuff.
Yeah, right.
Stuff that we've seen thousands of times already. Like, I'm just kind of glad for some of the stuff that is out right now that is just kind of really taken off. Including,
Now really is the time for original material to start making its comeback.
yeah, absolutely. Um, I think it's also kind of really pivotal for us to just be creative in times of adversity because you just really never know these days what the industry is gonna go through as we've seen in the last couple of years.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, and regarding some of my actors, they have been involved in like digital circus, days, so just a lot of big indie stuff. So I'm just really happy for them, and I'm just so blessed that I'm getting to work with some of them, which I would never imagine in a million years. Just for to be completely transparent.
Yeah, it's wonderful. You get to work with some experienced, talented people.
Exactamundo. I kind of do have a couple of questions since we're still here. Let me see if I could pull it up real quickly. All right, where are you? Okay, here we are. Um, because I think before I kind of asked you like, when did you first get started with like doing a lot of this stuff, like being creative? But what would you say was the moment that just kind of, struck you as like, oh, I kind of want to do this? Just everything that you're doing right now.
Well, the moment I realized that I wanted to really get into indie comics, it wasn't really that long ago, perspective wise. I mean, you always have these moments where you're like doodling comics in school, and maybe you're not seriously considering it as a career. But the moment where I really started taking it seriously was more like maybe. Maybe 2020 or maybe the year before that, because there was this big indie boom with comic books, other YouTubers out there just like doing their own thing and being able to crowdfund their own comics. And I had never even considered crowdfunding as a possibility. Old fashioned teaching where it's just you have to keep on submitting to publishers and hope that you hear back from them, and you never do. But, you know, so that really kind of opened my eyes, and I was like, okay, so there are other routes to get to the same destination. And so I started digging up some of my older stories and putting together ideas. And, because I already had the YouTube channel, and I figured maybe people would be interested in seeing what I have to offer out there. And I think that was really the moment that I really started getting a little more serious about it.
Yeah. And what have been some of your favorites that you've personally done so far, or anything that you've might have outside of comics, like just being a creator and everything? Some of your proudest work.
Outside of comics?
Oh no, just I think you mentioned like I know that a lot of people really like the bad guy. Like don't. Oh my god. See, my mind's went blank already. Uh, Hold up, because I know you said that a lot of people really enjoyed the. Oh my gosh, if I can remember the name. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Yeah, it's been a long time for me. Yeah, like don't the criminal one that you were just talking about. Yeah,
It's not like getting a job will kill you.
getting a job. Okay, yeah, that one. I know a lot of people.
It's a long title. I don't blame you.
Yeah, I know, like, yeah, like anime. I know a lot of people really enjoyed that one, but which ones would you say were the ones that you kind of really resonated with that you've done that really means a lot to you on a creative end? just
Yeah.
yeah.
That one was really fun. I have had a lot more, I guess, of a personal connection to doing the Reaper series, which is the one I'm working on right now. Obviously, it's a more complicated story. Well, as it's not like getting a job will kill you. It was easy to do that as a one shot because it's a very simple story, and the Reaper series is a little bit more complex. But I like the drive behind it and the overall messaging behind the series as part of the reason why I wanted to make it a series, and part of the reason why I didn't feel like it would fit as just being a one shot, even though originally I had planned, okay, it'll just be a one shot. He'll just go to this castle, he'll do the mission, and he'll be done. But then I was like, man, there's more to this that I could really extend on. And really, the essence of it is like kind of a redemption story for the main character who's been caught up in doing bad things and trying to find or rediscover, I guess, hope in the world and fix himself. And there are some elements to it that work really well as a full series that I wouldn't have been able to do if I decided to just make it a one shot. For example, I like adventuring parties, and even though I've never written an adventuring party comic, I did work on Horizon Quest, where the whole theme of that is it's a high fantasy with a classic adventuring party who really care about each other and work together to go on these quests. And that is really just, it's always such a solid, it is such a solid setup for a story to just have these true friends who just care about each other and work together to solve these problems. And that's kind of something that I'm going to weave into the Reaper series, is him finding his adventuring party, his friends that are going to help lift him up through these dark times. It's not a high fantasy, it's a dark fantasy, but there's potential for there to be like lighter elements to contrast the dark parts of it. And I feel like an adventuring party is going to help a lot with that. So that has been really, really fun. A lot of hard work, of course, but it's been really great to work on.
Oh, were you done? I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't realize you were finished.
Yes, it's fine.
Yeah, no
I was like,
worries.
is there any more that I have to say? I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I was waiting for. But yeah, what else? I guess when it comes to media or just anyone who inspires you, what would you say left a profound impact on you and how you write, do your stuff?
Oh man, well, it's a recent example, but I really resonated a lot with the Free Run series. That was a wonderful and beautiful anime, and I've been having fun reading the manga as well. And there's really a lot of good material out there. Um, I there's a lot of things that I guess I pull certain bits and pieces of inspiration from. As far as fantasy, probably like the most from works like Tolkien naturally, and works like Freeman, maybe a little bit of Conan, classic Robert E. Howard, those great stories of heroism and whatnot. And I guess Conan tends to be a little bit dark fantasy at times too, even though I don't think most people call it a dark fantasy, but it gets dark. Yeah. I guess
Yeah.
those come up to mind, yeah.
And what's something that really helped you a lot, just being a storyteller from just doing all this, wearing a lot of different hats as a creator?
Yeah, I mean, I guess the main thing is uh, you got to really learn how to take your time with it sometimes. Uh, yeah, there's a lot of work that I've done that never even saw the light of day. And I'm not always bitter about that because sometimes it was just kind of never meant to be finished, or it was just, not of quality to finish. But the experience still kind of lasts because I can still look at that and see like what I did wrong and how to improve on the next story I write, and et cetera, et cetera. This, yeah, obviously, I look back at a lot of older comics that I've done and I just cringe. It's just like, it's nowhere near like how I write today. It's completely different in style and everything. But yeah, allowing yourself the time to just learn and and get better is the best charity you can do for yourself, because when you're always like rushing to be an immediate success, I think first of all you're putting way too much pressure on yourself right away, and second of all you're not actually allowing yourself the time that it takes to be a success, which is to say you're not spending the time that you need to perfect your craft and everything. But yeah, just having the time to dedicate to working on it, and trial and error I think has helped me along the way a lot.
Yeah, I think that's the case for like everything that you do. We are approaching the top of the hour here, so do you have any final thoughts or advice that you want to close us out with for the day?
um I guess final advice, you can do it. You can there and create many wonders, everybody, but like I said before, you gotta allow yourself the gotta you gotta take criticism and work real hard, but you can definitely go out there and create something wonderful.
Yeah, I think that's probably the best way to close this out on. And yeah, because I know you got your. If we were to do like a little bit of self promo time, yeah, just plug your socials, anything that you're working on. Just yeah, just
Yeah,
sell out.
you can find me at just about anywhere on social media as Dannphan, as the name says here. Well, I guess on Instagram I'm Dannphan29, but this just because the username Dannphan was taken. So for the most part, you can find me under the name Dannphan. You can check out my comics on burningstarcomics.net. And that's where all the comics I've written are, as well as comics that I have published.
Yeah, I think that's pretty good to me. I'll just include each of them in the probably just include them in the little YouTube description here. But yeah, any closing last words? Anything?
Just thanks for having me on.
Yep, anytime. It's always really fun getting to talk with you. And yeah, just a couple quick announcements before we get on out of here. Let me see. Once again, thank you for watching. Stick around for more episodes of Solomon Shrine. And yeah, it was really fun getting to share the animatic teaser and then the cast announcements and all that jazz. So if you want to find out more about the series, there should be a website and some social media swagger, some swag coming out. So if you like that stuff, definitely keep a lookout on my social media accounts. I have, you know what? I'll just also put that in the description just to save us some time. But I'm not really sure if there's anything else that I really got going on. I really need to say, but yeah, just keep supporting indie animation. Just keep supporting artists. No AI crap and stuff. Um, yeah, and yeah, just watch Solomon Try whenever it comes out. And until next time, God bless. And I see you in the next live stream, whenever that happens. So until then, this is Robert, and adios. Have a good day. Stay hydrated. All right. Take care. Bye.
All right.
All right.